Most galleries are white cubes. They're either renovated warehouses or renovated to look like a warehouse that was renovated. The difference is that here they're like, oh, let's dig out the floor, let's drop the ceiling. The space doesn't have to be one thing, it's like a chameleon. I think Locust was the innovator of that here, and they're still doing it. And like, to me, that is invaluable, and that's something that every city needs.
I always felt like the creation of objects in a studio that you then bring out to this empty space to sell was a system that wasn't even designed for me, you know? It takes away all of the impulses that I put into it. Miami is really fortunate to have Locust Projects. They gave me a level of trust that I never had experienced in the gallery system. They really occupy a completely unique place of support and good karma out in the art world, you know?
You know, I think it's typical for a lot of galleries is that they want to know exactly what you're going to do and make sure you're not going to step outside the lines or mess up their walls and things like that. And that's what's great about Locust, is that they're like, we like your idea, we believe in it, just do it and see what happens. I brought a steamroller in and converted the whole thing into sort of a weird, crazy, absurd printmaking studio for giant monotypes using the floor as a printing press. It was totally transformative, and with that opportunity, it just blew it open for me, no question.
The relationship that I had with Locust was, how can we support you with like the visions that you have and ideas that you have? So they asked me instead of telling me, which I thought was really fantastic. They really encourage you to make something that you haven't before. A pretty big milestone for me that happened at Locust Projects was I directed my first film. Locust Projects were very, very much encouraging of me taking this direction and helping also doing a public screening. And I picked my idealized space, which was at Soundscape Park. Having such an amazing outcome, a lot of that is due to the support that I got in my experience in developing that work.
I am a writer. I am a poet. You don't see many writer poets also adding museum to their resume. A lot of the beautiful work that is done by artists is channeled or funneled through areas that have high traffic, where the people who are the muses to the work are unable to have access to them at times. So having the museum here in Carol City, Miami Gardens, a living, breathing museum, Wavemaker recognized that validation of work is important to give back to the people. We get to determine the history that we live every day, knowing that just by being in the space and just by being in this time right now, you are making history is important to your own self-validation.
There's been a conversation, a continuously unfolding conversation of what the word exile means, how it relates to us, and how it can be a space of promise, of connection, of hope. It's a powerful word here in Miami, and I've been thinking about it as a space of connection between people.
Exile.
Yeah, the word exile.
Counterintuitive, right? Exile to connect. Okay.
Exactly. During the period of Wavemaker funding, I've been able to deploy Club Exile in multiple public locations on Flagler Street, here in Edgewater. It will continue to unfold as this deployable intervention in the city. Maybe we could avoid some of the pain and heartache that we experience when we think of people as other.
Here at Dash, and also my work with Lab, has really exposed me to a lot of different artistic mediums and artistic styles that I can implement into my own work and kind of expand my horizons. I was there the first year that everything was virtual. The project ended up being a mural, vinyl onto the windows. You can come in there not knowing anything about how the art world works, and you'll come out with like this wealth of knowledge now already in high school, you know, the starting point for a potential future career in art.
You navigate the world, you observe the world, and you create images based off of the world. And that's something that's based on your own self instead of something that someone else would want you to make. I was in Lab in 2018. I went in hoping that I could work with other people and that other people would want to work with me. And that's exactly what I got. Even though I wanted to be seen, half of it is also being seen by the people who are nurturing you. Mentors outside of school, those mentors were very important, very integral to the whole experience. It gave me a bigger scale that's kind of the whole thing. Just something that would be viewed by people that isn't just like my small bubble. Maybe it's a bigger bubble, the Miami bubble, but it's still a pretty important bubble.